After being hit with a powerful punch from his South African rival in the fourth round of the fight, Strickland was left with a disfigured face. Visibly uncomfortable, the American repeatedly touched his nose, trying to manage the damage throughout the contest. With the defeat, Sean lost the chance to reclaim the middleweight 84 kilograms title. Despite the negative outcome, Tarzan, as he is known, seemed to handle his latest career loss well. "Dricus, I take my damn hat off to you. It was a hell of a fight. I broke my nose in 6 places. On the bright side, my nose is so broken that it's actually easier to fix now. It was a new experience. I'm fine. Losing sucks, but we all lose in life. I love misery. I love suffering because when you're unhappy, when you're in pain and suffering, as soon as it's over, and it will be over, there will be a new and better day. Life is good," the outspoken American declared on his social media. Rivalry settled. Besides acknowledging Dricus's merit, Strickland saw his conqueror settle their rivalry. After all, in January 2024, the two had a close and controversial battle, which ended in a split decision win for du Plessis. Given the context, the rematch was set for UFC 312, but with the South African's dominant performance, there was no doubt this time about who should have had their hand raised. Caio Borralho congratulates champion du Plessis, but warns, "I can and will beat you." Last Saturday, 8 in Australia, Caio Borralho attended UFC 312 and watched from the front row as Dricus du Plessis, the middleweight 84 kilograms champion, defeated Sean Strickland by unanimous decision. After the fight, the Brazilian, through his official X account, showed good sportsmanship by congratulating the athlete, but also issued a somewhat threatening warning. If in their first fight, the South African beat the bad boy by split decision, in 2024, in the rematch, his victory was clear and dominant. However, Caio does not seem intimidated by Dricus's status or his great run in the UFC, where he remains undefeated. On the contrary, when envisioning a possible fight against Stillknox, Borralho confidently stated that he has everything it takes to dethrone him, and the natural has reasons for his confidence. Today, Borralho is ranked 6th in the division, and like du Plessis, has never lost in the organization. Alex Pereira offers to train with Israel Adesanya. "Let's make this partnership happen." Despite suffering a technical knockout last week in Saudi Arabia, Israel Adesanya was at UFC 312, experiencing all sorts of adventures. A new video from Adesanya's YouTube channel shows the former middleweight champion absolving referee Mark Goddard of any blame for stopping his fight against Nassourdine Imavov. He hangs out backstage with Alexander Volkanovski and has fun with some fans in the arena. Then, his former rival Alex Pereira sits next to him to watch the fights. After some small talk, the two start discussing strategies, including the best way to land leg kicks. At the end of the event, Pereira asked Adesanya to train together soon. UFC CEO Dana White fully supports Dominic Cruz's decision to retire from MMA. Former UFC and WEC champion Dominic Cruz, 24-4 MMA, 7-3 UFC, was set to compete in his final fight on February 22nd against Rob Font, but suffered another severe shoulder injury that forced him to end his career earlier than planned. It's a sadly poetic ending for Cruz, who despite his many achievements saw his potential career success hindered by an endless string of injuries and layoffs. Still, he is likely to find himself in the UFC Hall of Fame one day, and White believes stopping now was the right decision. "I'm impressed he lasted this long," White told reporters at the UFC 312 post-event press conference on Saturday. "Who has been injured more than this guy in their career? It's fascinating. And the mental drive to keep coming back and trying again and again after so many surgeries and injuries. You have to give him credit. But I'm glad he finally hung it up." With his 40th birthday coming up on March 9th, retirement was the inevitable conclusion for Cruz. He didn't get the farewell fight he wanted, but he already has a post-career infrastructure in place with his position as a commentator, analyst, and coach at the UFC Performance Institute in Mexico. When you have the kind of experience and career he's had, and you can sit in the booth and talk about fights, it's amazing, White said. He'll have a great career after his career. Poirier bets on Makhachev and Topuria's success in higher weight classes. In June in New Jersey, USA, Dustin Poirier missed his third opportunity to become the UFC lightweight 70 kilograms champion. On that occasion, the American was submitted by Islam Makhachev and considered retiring from MMA. Now, the Diamond, increasingly closer to hanging up his gloves and already working as a commentator for the company, spoke about the future of two of the sport's top fighters, Ilia Topuria and Makhachev Makhachev himself. It has become common for UFC champions, even without fully dominating their divisions, to express interest in winning a second title in a different weight class. With that in mind, Poirier expressed optimism about the success of the Georgian fighter, who holds the featherweight 66 kilograms title, and of Islam and potential ventures into the lightweight and welterweight 77 kilograms divisions, respectively. According to Poirier, Ilya, who remains undefeated and is coming off knockout wins over Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway, is so exceptional that he has enough skill to establish himself in the lightweight division, despite a size disadvantage. As for Makhachev, Poirier's bet is even higher. Aware of his quality, the veteran believes the Russian has everything it takes to expand his legacy in MMA and reach the top of the welterweight division as well. I think there are still guys in the featherweight division for Topuria to fight. I've never seen Topuria in person, but Islam is a big guy. I think he'll be much bigger than Topuria. But that said, Topuria is a killer, and I believe he can knock out anyone from 65 kilograms to 77 kilograms. I believe Islam can win the welterweight title, the veteran stated in an interview with The Schmo on YouTube. Super fights between champions. Soon, after knocking out Holloway in October, Topuria expressed his desire to face Makhachev, dreaming of the lightweight title. For his part, the Russian, dominant in the 70-kilogram category, consistently emphasizes that his dream is to become a two-division UFC champion. Originally, he aimed to challenge the welterweight champion, but abandoned the idea after his friend Belal Muhammad took over the division's throne. Therefore, Islam has considered facing Dricus du Plessis at middleweight, 84 kilograms. That's it, guys. Did you like it? Then hit the like button, share, and subscribe so you don't miss anything from the world of MMA. See you in the next video.